So as you all know, there's been this trend in online media, especially during this last presidential campaign, where a lot of people just hopped on the Trump train, right? Where they felt like the energy and the juice was with the right-wing commentators. There's this whole ecosystem of such people. PBD podcast is one. The whole Rogan sphere and his comedian friends and his MMA friends are another. And that was where the views were. That was where all the energy was and the edginess and stuff like that. And so it was like a blossoming thing. Now, we've already hit the peak of that and we're on the decline. And the reason we're on the decline is because no reasonable person can look at everything Trump is doing and walk away going, yeah, this is good. This is good for the country. This is all going to work out. Destroying the Constitution, arresting people with no due process, threatening war with Greenland and Iran and Mexico and Canada, destroying the economy with a stupid trade war, prices going up, people getting laid off, Elon Musk destroying the whole regulatory state. This is great. This is awesome. This is all amazing. So since that's the case, it's a very weird thing when you witness people in this moment try to still hop on that bandwagon. Because, bro, it's over. It's a wrap. It's donezo. You are so fucking late to the party that it's embarrassing. You see this with Bill Maher, right? With his, going to the White House and then speaking in glowing terms about Trump. And it's like, really? We're talking about after he's already sending innocent people to a slave labor gulag, and you're still hopping on that stupid fucking trend, which was dumb to begin with. It just shows a lack of moral conviction and character, and it shows narrative humping and wave riding. Well, one of these people who's sort of new to this scene is Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo was, of course, the CNN host, covered for his brother's various crimes, and eventually was let go by CNN. So he started doing a podcast, and he hooked up with the PBD people. He was like on with the PBD podcast, and he's like affiliated with their network or whatever. So this clip came across my feed here, and this speaks so much to that trend that I just told you about. The like, actually, all the cool kids are on the right, bro, and they're all either pro-Trump or like enlightened centrists and make excuses for Trump all the time. So here's Chris Cuomo talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders and their anti-oligarchy tour, which is getting like prime Beatles numbers. Listen to what he has to say. Here we go.
AOC has done nothing meaningful in Congress. She's done it all on social media. And she's one of your leading names in who's going to be president. Do you not get this concept of 80-20? She's an 80-20 loser all day long. Why? She is clearly catering to a minority. She's her own version of MAGA. She's looking for an outraged enclave.
So comparing her to MAGA and Trump, nice. But by the way, follow that through to its logical conclusion. What happened with Trump? Where'd he end up, Chris? There's no way this is going to work, because this is exactly like the guy who ended up getting in the White House twice, bro. You didn't even follow your own point through to its logical conclusion. Bro, she's like fringe. Fucking Trump was fringe when he came out. Now that everybody's seeing how horrible that is, the pendulum is trying to swing hard in the other direction. That is if we have free and fair elections, which is a big if. But certainly the energy. There's no doubt where the energy is. The idea, oh, she's a fringe character. Really? Well, Alyssa Slotkin is a so-called moderate Democrat. If she were to go, she could go do a rally. Let me know how that works out for her. And she'll get fucking 1/300th what Bernie and AOC are getting. So this is amateur hour shit, but it's going to get worse, bro. This is going to get worse. Wait for it.
She is clearly catering to a minority. She's her own version of MAGA. She's looking for an outraged enclave. She's not about the majority. She's not about consensus. She's not about solutions.
She's not about the majority. She's not about consensus. She's not about solutions. She 100% is about all of those things. Go look at the things she supports, Chris. Raising the minimum wage, that's like a 70% or 80% issue. Medicare for all, that's like a 60% issue. Paid family leave, that's like an 80% issue. You're just wrong. He chugs the media narrative whole about AOC and pretends like it's the truth, when clearly what the people in the streets are telling you is the opposite. That we actually love her. Oh my God. I gotta stop pausing this thing.
She's not about the majority. She's not about consensus. She's not about solutions. She wants government to give you everything. She's a socialist in a capitalist society. What are you thinking?
I love the idea that you can look around at all of the hell on earth that has been unleashed by late-stage capitalism and be like, bro, she can't win. She's in favor of a different kind of system that's not the one we have, bro. Yeah, that's her appeal. Bro, she's not even a capitalist, bro. And obviously capitalism is working so fucking swimmingly well with 60% of people living paycheck to paycheck and medical bills being the number one cause of bankruptcy and 48 wars going on at any given time. Listen to yourself. Sure, the top 1% have like all of the fucking money, but bro, why would she question the system, bro?
Don't go to El Salvador to bring back Garcia. He punched his wife in the face, according to her. Why are you making this guy a patron saint? Stick to the principle. What is your principle?
Here's the answer, Chris. What is your principle? Fucking due process and the Constitution, you dumb meathead bitch. Oh my God. By the way, look, we got to get into that smear. So that's not even true. Oh, he punched his wife. That's not true. What happened was she was previously in an abusive relationship. And so with him, they had a fight, not a physical one, but a fight, and she felt scared, so she preemptively filed paperwork to say, like, hey, this guy's dangerous, keep him away, right? Now they're back together, she loves him, she misses him, she's singing his praises, etc. She admits, no, I was previously in an abusive relationship and I was fearful it was going to happen again, so I filled out that paperwork. But by the way, none of this matters, this is all a fucking red herring, because the fact of the matter is, Chris, it wouldn't matter if he was a fucking serial killer. You get due process. You get due process. You get hearings. There is a court process that you have to go through. We have habeas corpus. They're rounding these people up in the middle of the night, throwing them into a van, kidnapping them and human trafficking them to El Salvador, to a slave labor concentration camp gulag where up to 90% of the people have no criminal record. And you're saying, hey, don't defend this. If you're not defending this, you are admitting, I don't care about due process. I don't care about having a court system. I don't care about having a constitution. I don't care about separation of powers in the judicial branch. I don't care about getting it right. Chris, if they can disappear people without due process, that means they could disappear American citizens without due process. And it might start with some criminals, but then eventually where does it end up? Thought crimes. Thought crimes, which this administration is 100% about the thought crimes. In fact, ICE came out the other day and said they're going to go after people for thought crimes if you disagree with their abductions of anonymous people, right? So, God, this guy, man, holy shit.
Wife in the face, according to her.
Total smear.
Why are you making this guy a patron saint?
Because we care about the Constitution and we care about due process, and that matters more than whoever the individual is. Fine, you don't want to talk about him? Why not talk about Andres, the gay makeup artist who's 19 years old, who was also kidnapped and sent to the slave labor camp, the concentration camp? You want us to talk about him? Or how about the guy who has an autism awareness tattoo for his 15-year-old brother who has autism, who he looks after? How about the fact that ICE used that tattoo as evidence he was in a gang and shipped him to El Salvador? Should we talk about him? Who do you want us to talk about, Chris? Like I said, 90% of them have no criminal record whatsoever. Kilmar doesn't have a criminal record either. So you are smearing him repeatedly, and this is a man who's rotting away in an extrajudicial concentration camp. You smug prick loser. So here he is, trying to hop on the MAGA bandwagon at the end, smearing AOC. And, like, what's your purpose here, Chris? What's your purpose? Oh, I want to make sure the Democratic Party gets left in the hands of the responsible centrists. Oh, you mean the people who brought us Trump and the people who are proving day in and day out they are totally ineffectual in fighting back against Trump, like Hakeem Jeffries, like Chuck Schumer, like Alyssa Slotkin? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? You want the people who get rolled by Trump on a daily basis, you want them to continue to lead the party so that we get the next Trump? No, this is all fucking wave riding, and he's miscalculating too, right? He's miscalculating. In the circles he runs in, you only get positive feedback if you suck off Trump. And so now he's leaning more and more in that direction. And now he's at the point where you're smearing AOC. So in other words, the best fighters we have against Trump, Bernie and AOC with the anti-oligarchy tour, ripping Trump on a daily basis, the best fighters we have against Trump. He's like, how dare you go in that direction? That's a stupid idea. She's horrible. She's not good at this. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's even fighting for due process. Ugh, gross. When you get caught in that right-wing bubble, that right-wing echo chamber, man, that does not go well, bro. That does not go well, bro. Doesn't go well. It really doesn't. Because then you get so disconnected from reality and you end up giving smug rants like this and pissing everybody off. Right now is the worst possible time to try to target AOC. One of the best Congress people we have who's actually in the fight and leading the way. And you are attacking her. Why? Because you're a hyper-capitalist? Because you're from a rich fucking family? Is that why? Because you don't give a fuck about the Constitution and due process? Because you feel like your meathead ass will never be thrown into the back of a van? Is that why? God damn it, man. They're not even trying. Like, the critics of Bernie, the critics of AOC, they're not even trying. They're not even good at this. Nothing they say is even remotely plausible. And this guy's going to hit a brick wall of Democratic resistance because Democrats are incredibly protective right now of the people who are leading the way and fighting against Trump the hardest, right? So I don't know. He probably considers himself some sort of centrist now. But who is this for? Who is this for? Who's going to listen to this and cheer you on? Like I said, the fucking hanger-ons from the PBD audience that you tried to grift off of that are, barely tolerate even clicking a video of yours. They're the ones you're trying to impress, and you're trying to get them to clap like seals in your fucking comment section and tell you you're special. You're not. You're not. You're actually really embarrassing, and this video proves it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.